Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Zdeni Boy KMG, and this is the conversation with Zdeni and Kamu. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on the conversation today, I got a special guest, Nii Lante. Good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you, boss.
How's things there? How are you?
Oh, well, generally okay. It's just that this lockdown thing and this coronavirus thing is just upsetting everything. But otherwise, we're trying to stay safe and
Hey.
surviving. Yeah.
How's the production of music going on there? Are you guys still...
Well, we found a way. I mean, these days there's a lot of virtual stuff. So we record, we send things over online. People do their stuff, send it back. We communicate online and things like that. So, well, as far as recording, etc., is going, it's not bad. Some others are doing virtual concerts as well. So I mean, it goes on. It's just that it's not as is the new norm. You know what I mean? It's not like before. Yeah.
Love and Revolution and True Feeling.
Yes. I've done two. Love and Revolution was preceded the True Feelings, and that was like in 2012, and then the True Feelings was recorded in 2015, and subsequently I've done quite a number of singles, but we have in the pipeline a reggae EP and a reggae album as well coming up.
That's great, man. Let's talk about the genesis of your music career. When did you start?
Well, I started music when I was like a child, really. I mean, when I started by going for some piano classes with a lady who lived in Accra called Mrs. Grace Nate. So she was teaching me a little bit of classical music by then. So I'd say maybe that's how the whole music career started. But even before that, as kids living in our neighborhood, we used to fantasize about being music stars. So we would get together, sit somewhere, and then everybody would start banging on a pot or a pan or something, and somebody would be humming a bass line and things like that. And we actually gave ourselves a name. We were actually a band. And we would do all these funny performances, and passers-by would be watching and encouraging us, etc. So that's probably how it started.
Dreams do come true, hey? Who would have known? Now tell me, what was it after you got your medical degree that you taken your music seriously, or it was even within that time?
I think when I was in secondary school, we had what we called a pop chain, and that was a like a concert. Mm-hmm. And the school was supposed to put up a band, and the lead vocalist wasn't really working, so he wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do. So somehow some people knew they said I had a cool voice, so they said I should try my voice at singing. I did, and then they were like, okay, so you can sing for the group. So that's how come I started trying to pen some songs down for the band. I had a couple of friends also in school who were interested in music. So that is how the music career started. So I would say that maybe as a delving into some professional things started a little bit before I went into the medical school. And throughout the medical school, I kept that passion of music going. I actually released my first underground single, when I was in the medical school. Wow. So that's how it happened. And then after medical school now, I sought to do it more professionally. That's the music.
So you're a qualified doctor?
Yes, I'm a physician specialist. I specialized in internal medicine, and I went to medical school in Accra. That's the University of Ghana Medical School. And then I did my West African membership with I remember I went to Ibadan to write those exams, Ibadan in Nigeria.
Ah, that's wonderful. So you also practice full time, I guess, because you're a busy person.
Yes, I do practice. Yes, I do practice.
I saw one of your, was it one of your interview or one of your comment where you were saying Ghana would be a joke if they are not doing the actual test of this COVID-19. You remember that line?
I can't remember very well. I'm sure I wrote it way back then, like 3 months or 4 months back. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we the most sensible thing to do is to do a lot of testing. You know, to do as much testing as you can, and spread it all around the regions in the country, so that you can get a hand on how far spread this infection is. Because otherwise, you would just be assuming, you know, everything would be based on assumptions, and then you would be underestimating the situation.
Yes.
Because, and then that would be very dangerous. You could be saying that you have only 20,000 cases, when in actual fact, you have about 200,000. And then that would be a major problem, you know. So, I can't remember the line precisely, but I think widespread testing is something that we should aim at, you know.
So there were a lot of people that were talking about this COVID-19, and some of them were saying, in fact, the government is lying about this COVID-19. There's no such thing as COVID-19. It does not spread. I mean, like, now that they've eased the lockdown restrictions, you know, people are going out there, people are, you know, they even go back to partying and having concerts, and, you know, is it a good way of thinking of it to say there's no such thing as COVID and the government is lying?
Well, I mean, COVID is real. I know personally that the government cannot be lying, because I have had personal experiences with it. I mean, I've one of the first cases that was diagnosed in Ghana was a case that I diagnosed, and then I've had experiences. I mean, some of my colleagues have been infected. Yeah. You know, we've lost some medical personnel who I know personally, you know, also to COVID, and so it is real. I mean, it is real. The only thing is that for some reason, I mean, I don't know if we haven't gotten to the beginning of our climb in numbers yet, but for some reason, the kinds of numbers that we are hearing that we have of positive cases, I mean, throughout Africa is not as bad as in other areas, and the number of deaths also is not as bad as in other areas. But you cannot tell. Maybe we are now about to ascend the slope, or maybe nature might be kind enough to us so that we don't get it that badly. Yeah. Maybe because of certain factors. I mean, maybe environmental, genetic, or maybe certain resistance patterns we may have picked up because of our exposure to other pathogens, etc.
Man, let's just hope this peak is ending, because hey, man, this lockdown is killing us, man. Now,
really bad.
Let's go back to talking about music. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
Was Obama featuring Black Rasta your first track?
It wasn't actually my first track, but it was a significant milestone, because that song went quite viral. I mean, back then it wasn't we weren't really into this internet stuff, but it was one of the first songs that we did that really did very well. I know that it was widely played in other jurisdictions in Africa. I think in Kenya it did very well. And even the Obama campaign heard about it, they used it. And so yeah, man. I mean, that was major for us. Yes, it was.
I liked one of your statement on one of the interview when we were talking about this song. You said, as you realized when you were doing this song, you realized that simplicity is the most important thing, because this song, you were like, they were just like to
Exactly.
you jump on it, you know. Can you hear me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can. What happened was we were in the studio. We were actually, it was Black Rasta who was doing his recording session. Black Rasta is a friend of mine, and I was just lying down on the carpet in the vocal room. And so he got to a point and he was like, Nii, I think you should bust a line or so in the song. I was like, oh, no. I mean, just no. You know, and the song sounded so simple. I mean, it wasn't something, you know, the kind of songs that I like it are usually very complex, you know, like Steel Pulse and you know, Burning Spear. I mean, when you're talking about reggae. But this song was very, very, very basic, you know. So I was like, oh man, Charlie. I was actually trying to avoid the song. And then he was like, no man, come and do something on it. So I said, okay, I'll come tomorrow and come and do it. He said, no, I'm not coming tomorrow. I should go and stand behind the microphone. So then I put together paper and pen and started writing some stuff and went to sing it. We finished it, and I was like, oh, simple song. Well, at least a little tune, you know, to show support for Barack, you know. And then when the thing was released, it started catching on like wildfire, you know. And that for me has been like one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the music industry. That, Charlie, sometimes you have to keep it very, very simple.
Wait. Now tell me, was there a time where you thought, you know what, you need to leave music and do medicine full time, or vice versa? I mean, like, considering the fact that you. Now, I was saying, considering the fact that you do reggae music and you're a doctor, how do you even recommend a Rasta man not to smoke weed as a medical practitioner?
Okay, yes, I mean, the first part of the question, yes, I mean, there have been times when I've fought with myself, you know, because there have been times when it's not been easy to manage to do the time management and to split your time between the medicine and the music. And there have been times when I've thought that the music has suffered, the music career has suffered because of the demands of the medical practice. So there have been times when I've thought about, look, man, why don't I just concentrate on one and leave the other? But the passion for both will not allow me to. You know, it's just there. It's like it's like a curse. You know what I mean? I just can't stop doing the music, and I can't stop doing the medicine too. So I've just had to carry on and enjoy the best of both worlds, you know. And then but considering the second question, I mean, sometimes, you know, you may see, you may come across someone and give a certain advice, you know, like you were saying, maybe a Rasta man don't smoke herb or whatever. But that you know, this whole first of all, let me narrow it down. This whole herb question is all changing now, you know, because we're seeing how marijuana is now being legalized all over the world, you know, for medical practices and even for recreational activity as well. So it may not be that bad now, you know. But I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I don't smoke though, but and I try as much as possible to stay professional, you know. So even if I'm in the midst of people who are smoking, I always try to tell them that, you know, you should be careful because, you know, smoke going into your lungs can cause irritations, and irritations can lead to chronic lung diseases, etc., etc. You know, so yeah, I mean, I try to remain professional.
Exactly. And I think, I mean, like, even now there's a lot of people that comes in to say they use the herbs for medical reasons, for health reasons. So you cannot necessarily shy away from it,
Yeah, that's the point. Now, I mean, the marijuana is used for so many things. It's used to treat chronic pain. It is used for, I mean, people who have diseases where their appetite is bad, for weight management problems, post-traumatic stress syndrome patients are using marijuana. And so, I mean, epilepsy in children is now, and you're getting cannabis being used to treat epilepsy in children as well. So yeah, man, I mean, the world is changing, and we have to change. We have to change with it. I believe that we cannot be stuck, or frozen in history, and as the world changes, we change with it. Besides, there are so many reasons why marijuana was made illegal. I mean, if you read and you watch a lot of documentaries, you find out that there were political reasons as well. It wasn't only because of, exactly. So
yeah.
I mean, that's it.
So the other thing, on your music, you have 2 albums, am I right? And I was trying to I was trying to listen to those albums and check them out. Big Tree, Altar of Love, they're both in the album, am I right? Saying on your 2 albums that you have, which is the Love and Revolution as well as True Feelings, Big Tree as well as Altar of Love, it seems like they are on both the album. Am I right to say that?
Yes, they are. So what happened was that Big Trees and Altar of Love are actually 2 songs that I liked a lot. So I released them on the Love and Revolution album earlier on in Accra. Then somewhere around 2014, 2015, I had the chance of going to Jamaica and to record in Jamaica. So then I recorded, I looked at the songs I'd already recorded and said, oh, why don't I try and put a different feel on Big Trees, so I came across Mr. Dean Fraser, who is a legendary reggae producer, and he agreed to produce Big Trees. So we did that version. And then for Altar of Love, Mr. Mikey Bennett, who is also a very good songwriter and a very good producer in Jamaica, very well respected. He also heard Altar of Love and produced it with his own feel. Great. And it came out nice, very, very nice.
Now tell me, Big Tree, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, Big Tree, you said you have been exploiting me, you're about to fall. What are you talking about there?
Well, Big Tree, the inspiration for Big Tree was taken from Revelation, the book of Revelation. I think it was Revelation 13 or 18. I've forgotten, but it's indicated just by the song on the album cover. I was reading through Revelation one time, and I was reading about the city called Mighty Babylon, and how Mighty Babylon was exploiting all other nations in the world, and was drunk with the blood of the saints and all that, and how her fall would be, and etc. So I thought, I mean, what is Babylon? I've been listening to a lot of documentaries, readings, listen to music, and there's a school of thought that thinks that Babylon is a system, is an oppressive and exploitative system, and looking around in the world right now, indeed, I mean, most of the world is practicing an exploitative system, because when you look at it, you see that the poor people, are just exploited day in and day out. The country has wealth. The wealth is exploited, either oil, gold, or whatever is brought out of the ground, it is sold, and then the poor do not benefit in any way. You know, the money from the gold and the oil and the diamond goes into the hands of rich businessmen, whilst the poor don't have. Even in some of the towns in which the oil is being dug or the gold is being dug, you still have roads that are immotorable. You have hospitals that don't have drugs. They don't have doctors at posts. They don't have nurses. I mean, and you wonder that what is this? I mean, what kind of system is this, where Africa is said to be so rich, you know, and yet this system is in place where we dig stuff and other people benefit from it. You know, other jurisdictions in the world benefit from it, and then we are left, I mean, in the state in which we are in. So yeah, that was the inspiration for the song, yeah. Big Tree.
I believe even the system now, that system that you're talking about on Big Tree, is even being exposed now during this COVID-19, you know.
Yes. You know, now it's taken COVID now to let us know that we should have provided for drinking water or flowing water so that people can wash their hands regularly. It has taken COVID to tell us that we should have provided cheap housing for the majority of our people who are now living in squatters and slums and cannot practice social distancing or isolating themselves. And so yes, COVID has come to, COVID is the great revelator. I mean, it has come to reveal so many bad things, you know, that we've been doing, and that's it. I mean, we have to change. I hope that it is also going to strike a match that will cause the change that we are all looking for, so that we have a more equitable distribution of wealth and opportunity, you know, for our people. Yeah.
I was saying, great song, great delivery, great music, great beats on humanity. Very beautiful song. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
So beautiful. It's so, like, that song, man, it's one of those great songs that you just want to listen to them again and again and again. Man.
Thank you.
Classic.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Go and take care of people, you know. And then I remember in the second verse, I was like, oh, Charlie, how can I best express myself in terms of giving thanks to my colleagues who were in the front lines like that. And then it came to me as a call and response thing. So I would say thanks, and then I translate it in another language, and then thanks, then I translate it in that. So it was like call and response. So Oshe, thank you, you know, something like that. And it kept going on. And then it just linked up so beautifully. During this COVID period, actually, one of the things I've learned to do is to record myself on a little computer that I have at home.
Yeah.
And so this was actually like the first song I ever tried recording. And so I took my vocals at home. And then I forwarded the vocal to a producer friend of mine called Beat God. And then he asked me what kind of song it was, what kind of mood I wanted the song to be in. And then he started dealing with the song, and it came out perfect, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's like my love song, or my tribute to the healthcare workers all over the world, you know.
Humanity. It's a beautiful song. I like it. It's a beautiful song. But again, when you did an interview on Hits FM, you said Ghana here, the more you tried to do quality music, the more you are ignored. You remember that?
Yeah, I've had those kind of sentiments, yes.
Yeah, and you even said you are ignored not only by the people, you are also ignored by the industry people.
Yeah, you see, what happens is that it's funny, but
you don't remember some of the things that you say.
Oh no! I mean, it's funny, but you know, you try as much as possible to go into the studio, you know, to record a song that you think is really quality, you know, quality in terms of song progression, the progression of the music, in terms of the lyrical content. You take your time and really make sure that you are putting in your best for your lyrics, you know, and things like that. You get it produced by some of the best producers you can get around. And the song comes out and it's like, it doesn't make waves, or people just don't connect to it. Or even if they connect to it, you don't really feel like people are interested or want to push it, you know, those in the industry. And then another song is done, and there's virtually no singing in the song. I mean, it's just maybe a funny gimmick, you know, in the song, and then the thing blows up. You know, so exactly. So sometimes, you know, even myself as a musician, sometimes the songs that I write that I don't like are the ones that people get into, and they are like, oh, I want to sing this song again. I want you to sing this song for me, you know. So sometimes it's funny, you know. You don't know what the people are looking for, you know. But I think with time, I'm maturing. I'm knowing that much as you should do what people are looking for, just be yourself and just write. Be true to what you're feeling as at then. If you're feeling like having fun, write a fun song. If you're feeling like writing a serious song, write a serious song, and do not compare your how people react to serious songs to the fun songs. I mean, life is like that, you know.
You must actually be a champion.
Exactly.
Yeah, you must be a champion.
Exactly.
You released that song when? Last year, Champion. Last year.
Yeah, getting to the end. Yeah, getting to the end of the year. I think it was around October or so, September, October.
And it's amazing how you were saying, you know, we are a champion. 2020 is gonna be a great year. We're gonna make the Ghanaian laugh. We're gonna make the cry. And boom, COVID-19.
That just goes to tell you that, Charlie, you can never be sure about what's coming, man. You know, you might want to do something, but Charlie, you know, you propose and God, you know, God does what He wants, you know.
True.
So Champion was written in around that time when I was making forays into the Afrobeat, more into Afrobeat, and it was a song that I wrote. You know, it was like an anthem that I wrote to our brothers in the streets. You know, trying to make things work. You know, and everybody trying to survive. You know. Like I'm saying, you know, we live in a system in which you work hard, but you are paid very little, you know, and sometimes you may get depressed and I mean, you may even commit suicide, or you may just get depressed and go wayward or something. So this song was like a song that was like to motivate everyone that, I mean, just keep on doing whatever you're doing. Stay true to your hustle, you know, and then, stay true to your hustle, because, you know, when someone comes and says, no, this hustle is not the right hustle, or this hustle is not the right hustle, and you stop it and things crumble around you, it is that very same person who will come and condemn you that, look, you're a useless person, you didn't do anything with your life, and things like that. So, yeah, man, it was a song telling everyone, Charlie, just stay true to your hustle. Try your best, whatever endeavor you're in, Charlie, try do your best, man. And be the champion that you are, you know. Every man and woman wants to be the champion, you know, a champion in terms of success, you know, success in his house, success to his family, success to society and stuff. But it's just unfortunate that it's being made too hard for us.
Yeah, do some of the things, but we still have to keep on keeping, you know, keep on moving, keep on believing in our hustle and going on. It will pass at the end of the day, you know.
Precisely. I mean, once we are alive and we still have strength and we have life, you know, we just have to keep soldiering on, you know.
Yeah. Now tell me, 52 ambulances. Is it the real situation? Was it the real situation that made you to write that song?
Yes, actually, it you know, it was even worse than that. This was about a year ago, or about 1.5 or 2 years ago, when in Ghana, our national ambulance stock was just about, I had the information that it was 52. The official information was, I think, 54 or something. But then when I went to the ambulance, the ambulance administration offices to find out, or I also heard on radio, it was only just 28 ambulances that were actually working. 28 national ambulances. Now, I mean, that is ridiculous, because how can you have 28 ambulances and have so many cars that the parastatals and the government people and the parliament people and all the directors and all the ministries and everybody, they are driving all these big, huge V8 cars, SUVs, you know, guzzling away all our petrol, you know, and then you have only 28 ambulances to serve the country.
Yeah,
for me, it was a ridiculous situation. Yeah. You know, I was once at work and I had a lady, actually, that is what triggered me to write the song. I had a patient who was a lady. She had fallen off a motorbike and she was so ill, you know, and she needed a referral to another center. After we had tried to stabilize her and all that, we now needed to send her into one of the major hospitals. And then getting an ambulance was a problem. It was such a big problem. The stress we went through, you can't believe it. You know, and we're just watching this girl dying. So this is what actually triggered me to write the song. I remember when I was driving home that day, you know, this thing kept on going through my mind. But you know, so then I wrote the song. I wrote the song to agitate. You know, I agitated and I was a little rude at some points in the song. You know, bobo clap. But I think it did the trick. You know, it touched some.
I want to ask you that. Are you gonna give it a credit? Are you gonna give it a credit, that song? Because I saw an article. I think they're saying there's now 300 and something ambulances.
Of course, yes, I will. I will every time. You know, because you know why I know that song was what really made a mark. You know, the actual figure that government, I think, had released was 54. In my song, I made a mistake and used 52. Then I saw all sorts of demonstrations in Europe and all around Accra and Ghana against government because Ghana had 52 ambulances, which meant that they were actually quoting the figure that I had put out, which was an error. But it did the trick, you know. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it put a lot of pressure.
Power of music.
Yes, it put a lot of pressure on government, and this was a problem that not the current government only had overseen. I mean, all these years since independence, we had not been building up our ambulance stock up to the point when we had 28 working ambulances to serve 22 million people. That is how bad the situation was. So through music and positive lyrics, you know, we're able to exert some pressure on government. And soon after that, we had 300 ambulances imported into the country. Yeah,
Now tell me, on Chameleon, you remember the song Chameleon?
Yes, Chameleon.
You said, let's change the system because it's whack. A system that look legit, yet cheating the poorest people. Tell me what you mean by that line.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the same thing. I mean, it's still the same thing. We have a system in which, not only here, I mean, but the worldwide, the most dominant worldwide political system now, let me say, is the global capitalist system. And it has come with a lot of problems, you know, where, you know, the upper classes are accumulating so much wealth, you know, to the detriment of the lower classes, you know, and that is what I was singing about, that we have to change this kind of thing, and make things more equitable, make opportunity more available to everyone. You see, opportunities to access healthcare, to access education. These things should actually be human rights. It shouldn't be because you have so much money, that is why you have a good education. Education must be there for all, health must be there for all. But right now, the kind of system we are living in, if you don't have money, you probably won't have any healthcare. Or even if you have healthcare, you have the poorest of healthcare, which for me, I don't think that is what it's all supposed to be about. So that is the kind of thing that I was thinking about, where the system looks very legitimate. Everybody tells you, oh, if you struggle hard, you will make it. If you can make it and all that. How many people make it? How many people in this current dispensation are able to make it? Very few. And the few who are making it are people who already have in their family histories some wealth, some aristocratic people. You come from a certain class, so you end up in the best schools. And after going through the best schools, you go to medical school, you become a doctor, you make so much money, and then it goes on. Then your daughter also makes so much money. Then her daughter also makes so much money. Whilst the poor keep going poorer and poorer. I mean, come on. I don't think that's the way to go.
It's hard for you coming from the mud to make it, actually.
Extremely hard. It is so hard. That thing they talk about, the dream. How many people are able to actually break through this thing?
Yeah.
Very few, very, very few.
Yeah. Then again, on that chameleon, you said, so you say your standard is a chameleon. What is the standard? But if the standard is a lion, then keep it. I think it's about that line.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is that, I was talking to hypocrisy, hypocrisy and changing values.
Yes.
When it suits you, you call somebody a terrorist. When it doesn't suit you, you don't call the person a terrorist, even though they may all be engaging in the same practice. So that those kind of hypocrisies, in the world governing system is what I was speaking to. I mean, let's all be true. Why can't we just be true? You understand?
New track that you have, Yawa Day. A couple of artists have the track named Yawa Day, and I googled it, and it means problem, trouble. Why that song?
Exactly.
Why trouble?
Yawa Day. I was one day having a conversation with one of the good producers in Ghana. His name is Apietus. And we were having a conversation about what makes a big song, what makes a song blow, what makes a song huge, what makes people gravitate to a song. And he was of the opinion, look, if you go into the streets and you listen to what people are saying, just listen to what people are saying in the streets. If you are able to re-echo what they are saying, in song, it is likely you can get a big track. So as we're talking in the car, he said, for example, people are just saying, there's Yawa Day, there's a lot of problem in town. That's what the boys are saying. The street boys are saying, naturally, you go try, but at the last minute, Yawa Day, nothing go happen. You understand? Yeah. So I went home and this thing was in my mind, so I started writing that song, really. And then it grew from stage to stage. And then I brought on Famille. Famille is a young, up-and-coming musician who is fire. I mean, he's fire now in Ghana, and was produced by That Big God. I'm doing a remix. The remix will be hitting the market within the next 1 to 2 weeks or so. Yeah. You just have to be true to your feelings and your inspirations. Otherwise, you will throw away the gift that God has given to you in the quest to go and look for something else that may not even be you. You understand? But then there's also the reality that you are living in the kind of world where market demands must be met.
Exactly.
And if you are able to meet those market demands, then you can make some money to take care of your wife, your children, your this, your that. So what I try to do is to marry the two. You know, I do a bit of commercial and I do a bit of myself. You know, and I'm beginning to find that fine balance, you know, and it's becoming very, very fulfilling.
That's dope. One of your songs is The House of Pain. What is that? What is The House of Pain?
Well, The House of Pain is actually it's symbolic of heartache. You know, you're in love with someone, you're in love with someone you're courting, and she's really not she's really not pulling for you, as we say here. You know, she's not pulling for you. So
she's not vibing with you. She's not vibing with you.
Yeah, so that is what I meant, you know, like she's not coming through, and so, you know, you're in this house of pain, and I was expressing all the things that happened right there in that heartbreak situation, you know.
Now tell me, Lynn, what are you working on now? Future plans, what are you working on?
Okay, so currently I'm working on releasing singles as often as often as I can. We'll probably be releasing a single a month, or maybe 2 singles in a month. We'll be doing that a lot, yes, because we have so much music there. We need to bring it out, and this is where it gets interesting. You know, this is where now I need you guys out there to support this. You know, I need you to subscribe to the channel, because you shouldn't miss out on what is coming. You know, we have some very, very interesting, nice singles that are being worked out. Some nice collaborations as well that will be dropping very soon. And Chalet, it's KNIILANTE. Make sure you subscribe.
Man, you know what? You must give holla to Patrick. Patrick is a good guy, man. Patrick is a good guy.
Did you hear that?
he was out here updating me, like, you know, this guy is busy, he's in the hospital. Can we do it tomorrow? Nah, man, you must give. I salute him, like he's a good guy, man.
Charlie, he's really a great guy. Yes, I mean, to Ghana, to West Africa, South Africa, Central, Eastern, you know, the message is always one Africa, you know, like our founding fathers always used to tell us, one Africa. That is the secret to our success. And so, Charlie, man, we're always open. I'd reach out to you when I'm getting ready to do my first song, my first collaboration with a South African. You have to find me a nice South African artist.
Nah, man, I got you.
Then we're going to make fire.
I got you.
Yeah. Charlie.
No, thanks very much for your time, man. Peace.
Thank you too. One love.
One love, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conversation with Zen and Kamu, and we out. Hey, Tara.